The White House has finally released Donald Trump's long-awaited medical report, but instead of putting questions about the U.S. president's health to rest, the document is already sparking fresh scrutiny over what was included, what was omitted, and whether the administration is being fully transparent about the 79-year-old commander-in-chief's condition. For months, critics and political opponents had demanded greater disclosure regarding Trump's health, particularly after repeated public appearances fueled speculation about his physical condition. Late Friday night, the White House responded, and according to Trump's physician, the president is practically the picture of perfect health. The 3-page memo, authored by physician Captain Sean Barbabella, declares that Trump remains in excellent health and is fully fit to carry out the duties of the presidency. The report says Trump achieved a perfect score of 30 out of 30 on a cognitive assessment. His cholesterol numbers were described as excellent. His cardiac health was portrayed in especially glowing terms. In one of the report's most eye-catching claims, Barbabella stated that AI-assisted analysis estimated Trump's heart to be roughly 14 years younger than his actual age. Taken at face value, the report paints a remarkably healthy picture of a man approaching his 80th birthday. But almost immediately, critics noticed something unusual. Compared to the medical report released just a year earlier, several previously disclosed health details appear to have disappeared entirely. Last year's report offered a significantly more detailed look at Trump's medical history. That document reportedly included information about diverticulosis, a benign colon polyp, cataract surgery, an appendectomy, and findings from a 2024 colonoscopy. Those details are absent from the latest release. The omissions quickly triggered questions from observers who wondered why information previously disclosed to the public was no longer included. The White House has yet not publicly explained the changes. Adding to the intrigue, the new report introduced health details that appear to conflict with previous statements from the administration. One example involves swelling in Trump's lower legs. Barbabella wrote that the president has experienced slight lower leg swelling, which had improved since the prior year. That disclosure caught attention because a public medical update released after Trump's 2025 physical reportedly stated that he had normal blood flow and no swelling. The issue has drawn interest because photographs taken over recent months had prompted widespread speculation online about Trump's ankles and overall circulation. The White House had repeatedly downplayed those concerns. Now, the latest report appears to acknowledge at least some degree of swelling. Another figure raising eyebrows is Trump's weight. According to the report, the U.S. president now weighs 238 pounds. That's approximately 14 pounds heavier than the figure reported a year ago. Yet, despite the increase, the report says Trump received counseling regarding continued weight loss efforts. Several additional health metrics also moved upward. Trump's resting heart rate reportedly increased from 62 beats per minute to 73. His triglyceride levels, a measurement related to fats in the bloodstream, rose from 56 to 104. While both numbers remain within generally accepted normal ranges, they represent some of the largest year-over-year changes contained in the report. The document also addressed a topic that has generated frequent online discussion: the bruising repeatedly seen on the backs of Trump's hands. The physician attributed the bruising to frequent handshaking combined with the president's aspirin regimen. That explanation matches previous statements issued by White House officials whenever photographs of Trump's hands circulated on social media. Despite those changes and unanswered questions, the overall conclusion of the report remained overwhelmingly positive. Barbabella wrote that Trump's cardiac function is normal and emphasized the AI-enhanced cardiovascular assessment that suggested a significantly younger cardiac age. The physician ultimately concluded that Trump remains fully capable of performing the duties of commander-in-chief. However, the release is unlikely to silence debate surrounding presidential health disclosures. Questions about Trump's medical transparency have followed him for years. Perhaps the most famous example dates back to the 2016 presidential campaign. At the time, Trump's personal physician, Dr. Harold Bornstein, issued a headline-grabbing letter declaring that Trump would be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency. The statement quickly became one of the most talked-about medical endorsements in modern political history. Years later, Bornstein publicly claimed that Trump himself had dictated the contents of that letter. The revelation intensified skepticism among critics who argued that medical assessments involving presidential candidates should be treated with greater scrutiny. Now, nearly a decade later, a similar debate appears to be resurfacing. Supporters point to the report as evidence that Trump remains mentally sharp, physically active, and capable of handling the immense demands of the presidency. Critics, meanwhile, are focusing less on the glowing conclusions and more on the details that appear to be missing. Whether the report ultimately reassures voters or fuels additional speculation remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: even a medical report describing Trump as being in excellent health has managed to become another political battleground. And as questions continue about transparency, disclosure, and presidential fitness, Trump's health is likely to remain firmly in the spotlight heading into the next chapter of his presidency.